My only complaint with the Miyoo Mini Plus as a PS1 emulator is the D-pad, which is weird because everyone says they love the Miyoo Mini Plus D-pad, and I'm gonna show you in Silent Hill right now what I mean. Like, notice that when I press the up D-pad button, I'm like going up. But now let's say that I want to follow the diagonal path. Sometimes there's no middle term between the up button and let's say the left button. So when I press those, like sometimes he just stop moving up and start moving to the side. Right now I'm pressing, I'm not sure if you can see, but I'm slightly pressing the up button and he's not going up. Of course, if you hard press the up button, that's not gonna happen, but I think that it does require a bit of getting used to. I think that's a valid report since the game I play the most on the Miyoo Mini Plus, by far, is the DS Pokemon games, which constantly require you to only press one direction. So like it does not suffer from if you don't press the button clearly. Like if I do this, notice that the character doesn't move to the sides accidentally. It just goes up, and that's pretty good. So two solutions for this problem are pressing the buttons with a bit more strength than you're used to with like a traditional PS1 controller, and playing a lot, which will make you get used to and know where to use more or less force. Comment down below if the same problems happen to you, which is a shame since the quality of the D-pad buttons on the Miyoo Mini is really, really great. Notice that my only problem with the Miyoo Mini Plus as a PS1 emulator, it has to do with physical buttons, not necessarily the performance. So there's this guy who tested over 100 games, 100 PS1 games on his Miyoo Mini Plus, and I'm going to show you the most popular ones that I think best tested the hardware on the Miyoo Mini Plus. So this guy tested over 100 games, 100 PS1 games for the Miyoo Mini Plus, and we start out with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's a 2D game, you expect it to run really well on the Miyoo Mini Plus, and it does. Chrono Cross, which was, adored for its awesome graphics at launch, does run really well on the Miyoo Mini Plus as well. That might be a spoiler, but there's only this one super smooth category, and the don't bother one, which is like games that don't work. Like there's not a middle category of games that kind of run well. Pretty much if the Miyoo Mini Plus can run a PS1 game, it's gonna run well. Just like Crash Bash, which we can see on screen right now. Like it's a really CPU intense game. Like lots of 3D objects moving around and CPUs thinking all the time. So that's a really good test. Also Crash Bandicoot 2, which like I'm playing the first game on my Miyoo Mini Plus and I have no performance issues at all. Like it runs super smooth. Maybe Crash 3 has more, particles and more things going on. It's a more complex game overall, graphically saying, but looks like it does also run well. Just like Crash Team Racing, which is like a fast-paced gaming with different scenarios loading all the time. It's also working pretty well. Now, that was a good surprise for me because I didn't know that Diablo had a console game. I didn't for real. For me, it has always been a PC exclusive game. Now, it's good to know that it's available for the PS1, consequently for the Miyoo Mini for me, so maybe I'm gonna try it out later. Disney's Hercules also was a huge part of my childhood, and like looking with modern eyes, I think that it looks awesome because, the way they blend 2D with 3D graphics, I really like that. And it also runs great. For sure, it's a super smooth game. Marvel vs. Capcom, I also played that a lot as a kid, and it's good to know that's running pretty good. So a 2D game, so no surprise here. Medal of Honor, a full 3D game running like a locked 60 FPS, a constant 60 FPS for the Miyoo Mini. So good news for us. Also Medal of Honor Underground, full 3D game. Mortal Kombat Trilogy not working. Apparently there's no way you can play Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the Miyoo Mini Plus since it crashes. Now we have Resident Evil 1. Notice that we can check the frame rate on his screen. Like I think that the drops from 60 to 58, it's just like something that you can't help. For some reason Resident Evil 3 he doesn't show his FPS, but I think it does run like the first one, a locked 60 FPS. Silent Hill, just like I showed you, I can tell that's a 60, constant 60. SimCity 2000. Spyro the Dragon. We've got the remake recently, but you know, that's the classic one, and also runs super smooth according to our YouTuber right there. Tekken 3, also super smooth. The first Tomb Raider game, and the second one, apparently super smooth as well. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, yeah, super smooth. Twist Metal 2, I think that's a good test because I also played that a lot as a kid, and you know, there are a lot of explosions and particles here and there, and 3D models, you know, moving around all the time. Especially the fourth game, that's Twist Metal 4. That's also a very good test, and both of them are super smooth. Now, these are all the super smooth games, and there's also the don't bother games, which are the games that didn't really work. Mortal Kombat Trilogy and Parasite Eve 2. Maybe there's a workaround for that. What really matters for me is that there's not a playable but not enjoyable category. There's only super smooth. Of all the 100 games he tested, there's only super smooth and like don't bother because it's not gonna work games, and those are only 2. So we can say that's a solid 98% of playability for every PS1 title tested on the Miyoo Mini Plus. Subscribe for more Miyoo Mini Plus videos. If you wish to buy one, buy it from my link on the description. You're not going to pay anything more for that, and you're going to help me to keep on making videos.